man. Okay, I don't want to tell you how to feel. I'll feel strongly about this madman toying with what ordinarily everybody knows the truth, right? And before I even say that, I want you to listen to this.
And I use the opportunity to talk to Southeast people. When we go to social media and talk, castigate and all sorts of things, I continue to tell my people, our problem is different from other regions. Our problem, we have to count one before we count two. We lost it some time ago. What we need is to be reintegrated into the affairs of the country. I said that before now, there was no federal project in Ebonyi State. But you can see everywhere there are federal projects in all the Southeast. Is that not integration? For Mr. President to give an Igbo man, Minister of Works, Chief of Naval Staff, the Minister of Science and Technology, because I'm in fact, and I know that the young man is about, launching our own satellite by the support of the President. Is it not integration? So we need to be properly integrated. Other people have been integrated, and that's why you see them shouting and making efforts for more demands. But let's work together supporting this same president that has integrated us. But we are not yet sitting very well. We have to sit very well. If you are sick, you will not know there is hunger. It's when you get well before you start thinking of other things you are missing. So let us support. And I use the
nuisance lele. Nuisance lele.
So how do you feel as an Igbo man listening to that? I'm not an Igbo man, but let me tell you, no matter how I think I feel, right? It is not even about that, all right? Maybe it is not even about feeling, but it is about feelings too, or maybe more than that. From time immemorial, the Igbos have been told to bend the knees and take responsibility for everything that is wrong in Nigeria, or wrong with Nigeria. So let me explain. Since 1960 to 2025, they have not made a democratically or militarily elected Igbo man the president of that place. And it is not just that. We've had all these characters, as they call them, their former presidents. The northern part of Nigeria, they have ruled Nigeria. Out of Nigeria's 64 years existence, the northern part of Nigeria, they have ruled Nigeria for more than 40 years of that. Then, other tribes, well, we are next. The Yorubas. We have also ruled Nigeria, like, Obasanjo 11 years. Now you have Tiknumbu. Let's say 4, that will make it 15. But for now, 13. Then you have an Ijoman, a Berejolantan. So when you don't say the southern part of Nigeria, the Igbos, who are the major ethnic nationality in Nigeria, they have been profiled, an unwritten code that an Igbo man must not be made the president of Nigeria, or will not be the president of Nigeria. Somehow, you see all these things that people are uttering everywhere, right? Igbo man will never be president of Nigeria. Don't think it's just political saying. It is institutionalized. Not that they can't decide to make an Igbo man president, but don't get me wrong. But nearly 64 years of independence, there's not been an Igbo man that is president of Nigeria. And therefore, when we are now talking about those responsible for this destruction of this Nigeria, it seems almost people who have ruled Nigeria and ruined Nigeria always blame the Igbos. It's only the Igbos they are telling to come and reintegrate. Do you get that point? People who destroyed Nigeria feel entitled. And because of the genocidal war, with that coded agreement between them, an Igbo man is blamed for all of their atrocities. So easy. I mean, don't lie. Some of you have always been like, the Igbo people need to try, something. For Igbo people to rule this country, they must try to convince the people. Now, the Igbos supposed to convince us. Have you studied that? I don't know. Me as a Yoruba man right now, if I am interested in their politics in Nigeria, all I have to do is to go and kneel down for somebody, whoever that person is that time, in northern Nigeria. All right? So I have to go and kneel down for that person. As a Yoruba man, it doesn't matter what I say about Nigeria, to hell with Nigeria, to this and that, it doesn't matter. Let an Igbo man be praising Nigeria. They will still tell him that, it's because you are an Igbo. It's because, that's going to be very hard. But nobody can explain why. This is the first, see, I won't lie to you. This was actually my first time back then, that I discovered that Nigeria is fake. It's just a fake country. The oppressed, who are Yorubas, the oppressed, who are Usas, even Fulanis, Middle Belt, and the rest of them, who have been programmed this way. They believe that if they give their support to an Igbo man, they are doing them a favor, because they have been programmed never to actually wish them to lead them. So it was like a general consensus, the Igbos are into business. They are not interested in politics. They are not interested in clinical. So it now became like a social conditioning. I don't know about you, but when I discovered that, it doesn't make any sense. That there are some people who are very strong about Igbo. Igbo man cannot be president of Nigeria. Must not be president of Nigeria. There are people who actually feel strong about it. Guess what? These people, they have Igbos as friends. Yeah, they have Igbos as friends. But internally, they feel so strong that, Ogbeni, you want to go and make Igbo man president. You will just declare Biafra. Their parent told them that. And there are people who are still living like that here today. So it is an Igbo man. Fulanis that are killing Nigerians. A Fulani man doesn't have to convince anybody if he wants to be president. Nobody will even ask him and say, see Atifku. Atifku is, Fulanis are killing people. Fulani terrorists are killing people. I have not really seen anyone holding Atifku because he's Fulani. They are holding it because he's a thief, like others. IPOB, that is demanding for peaceful dissolution of Nigeria. There are people who are saying because of IPOB, Peter Obi cannot be president. So Peter Obi needs to convince them that he is not supporting Biafra. An Igbo man. Tifnubu is Yoruba man. They are not holding him because we want Yoruba nation. Have you noticed? Now, this discrepancy in that system at a very, very kind of like a young age, I've seen through it and I'm like, man, they just deceived me when I was younger, Sha. This is not right. This doesn't make any sense. And when Umahi, here is another one. When you go inside APC, Ebekebe, who have actually shown us the real hatred that they weaponized, tribalism, ethnicism, religionism are being gone. Inside APC, there are tens of thousands of Igbos there. In their leadership, what have you, including Igbo governors, who pledge allegiance to APC, they still don't trust them. That is institutionalized. That one is not something that just happened to Nigeria. It's always been there. Every time you touch them, you will get people that will remind you, or you are trying to, are you trying to be nice to the Igbo? You want the Igbos to like you. Does that invalidate what I just pointed out? Like if you sit down and just reason and say, I they help them shout one Nigeria, one Nigeria. And what does that mean, one Nigeria? We are all one, this equal. But are you actually one? Are you equal? The answer is no. And no Igbo man need anybody's validation to say that. No. A sensible Igbo man, a woman, knows this very, very well. And if you don't understand where some of them gets the passion to reject Nigeria from, it is from this truth. They stop lying to themselves. Because how could you have Igbos in your APC, Egbe, and whenever it is at any given chance, you are ready to pounce on them and tell them, people where they kill people, those who have looted and destroyed Nigeria, they don't need to convince us to say they want to be in charge of Nigeria. Now that's Igbo. They need, the Igbo people are very stubborn. The Igbo people are this. Oh, what are you talking about? You say a lot of shit, right? And then you realize that this shit that they are all saying, kind of like a spewing, they are coming from a place where institutions have been built on it, has been built over it, that it is actually entrenched. Now then you have the Igbos themselves, supposed Igbo fools, the Igbo elite, who are more or less like begging. They are begging to be recognized. That's how I see it, by the way. I see them begging to be validated. Like, hey, I am Igbo. I am not like the rest of the Igbos that you know or you conjured in your head. I am loyal. I am ready. I am for Nigeria. If they want to, like even Peter Obi, they are like, I want to convince you that, you see, like Obasanjo too, my Nigerianness is more than my Igbo-ness, my Yoruba-ness. People want validation. But despite all of that, the evidence, mistrust or distrust or whatever it is, some of them are hiding from is obvious. So Umahi can go and tell the Igbos and say they should be grateful to Tifnubu for giving Igbo man Minister of Work. This useless Umahi forgot that there was actually a time that Obasanjo said super ministers, those who negotiate your debt, cancel it to zero, right? And then build your foreign reserve, gave you excess crude accounts, made your refineries working, built power plants, than these ruiners, these destroyers, these locusts today, right? At the head of the team, economic team of Nigeria at the time, with majority of those who were indeed with Obasanjo, they all went on to become greater things from all over the place. But no, they have to come and convince Mukaila in Egbeda that as an Igbo man, you need to convince me. You need to come and, I don't know. So Umahi and others, they are just appealing to that. For 24 years, there is no single federal government of Nigeria's project in the entire eastern part of Nigeria. I said that the other day. Some people started Googling it. Like, is that possible? Is that true? Well, Umahi just said that until he was appointed minister, there was no federal government project in eastern Nigeria. But guess what? When Nigeria paid back the debt that they used Nigeria name to collect, the Igbos are also paying part of the debt. It doesn't make any sense. If you sit down and just think about it, it doesn't make any sense. And that's part of the injustice there that they want you to overlook. And just be your neighbor's keeper. There's nothing wrong about that contraption, right? And I hope that so many of you will realize this now than later, right? And those who are responsible for all of this, they have to pay. In fact, they must pay. When I say pay, it starts from taking the power back from them. Make them vulnerable, because right now they are living in a different planet where impunity is their source of energy. It energizes them. It makes them so like maybe invincible, right? So good luck with that. Here is my final one. I know I was supposed to make it a people's parliament, but it seems that we are not that many. Would you still want me to open the studio? And yeah, we can have, because I realize a lot of our people just suddenly don't want their faces to be seen. They just want to remain anonymous in the comment section and all that, right? All right. Here is what the people who are supposed to be responsible for your defense in Nigeria, your CDS, had to say in defense of the terrorists that they are telling you to accommodate today. I mean, that's what imagine if the Igbos are the ones who form militia and killing people in these areas, right? And then saying, if you don't let us go away, we'll kill everybody in northern Nigeria, kind of like, do you think Nigerian army will probably speak good of them like this? Where the soldiers are advocating for land, for terrorists who have killed hundreds of thousands of people in a space of 10 years. You have to finish, man.
It's peculiar. Like I said, historically, it's gone back, way back. And it started in the past. If a cow enters a farm and damages a farm, the cow is arrested or caught, compensation is paid, or if they kill an animal suddenly, it's compensated. So over time, that stopped. What stopped it? That's the problem. So we started losing faith with those ones. Instead of these settlements, people started taking laws into their hands. If the cow gets into the farmer gets angry, deals with the cow. If he deals with the cow, the owner of the cow also gets angry and attacks the
So there is revenge.
So there is revenge. So
Right.
these are the issues on ground.
Right.
And so which means from my own assessment, three things matter. The people in Benue State believe that there's land grabbing going on. We have that perception. And because over time this has happened. Now most of our troops, when we send them on patrol, some of the areas are empty. Nobody is there, but there is no foreigner there. But the idea is that if you go in there, you might be attacked. One thing. Secondly, the issue of the animals. The animals stray into farms. Now, because if you know Benue, it is lush and it's very attractive to animals. If an animal gets into a farm, there's always a problem. It creates problems. Now, if you arrest the animal or you kill the animal, it becomes another issue.
Right.
So if we stop the animals from moving, there won't be issue. If we stop killing the animals, there won't be issue. So for me, these two things are basic. The issue of land grabbing is political. The government, state government particularly, need to really step in to ensure that we address and bring all the parties together.
Right.
Sit down and agree on this. And from henceforth, any act that is conducted is acts of criminality. We can start dealing with that from then. And I think we'll have peace if we're able to do that.
Well, I mean, one of the things that
The defense headquarters has just established its defense ranch because we want to show example as part of our non-kinetic effort. Sometimes we show example, so we do a model of a ranch. I had the opportunity of being the first executive director for Nigerian Army Farms when I established, and we established a ranch. It's in Abuja. Once you ranch, animals are properly fed, properly taken care of, you get more value. You don't need to take them around. So that is critical. And so our example is we think it is important that we get some farmland, federal government or through the livestock, we work together in partnership, we build model ramps so that people can see what the ranch looks like and the importance. And then secondly, you could also give opportunity for people to come and invest and build pastures, grassland, so to say, because the animals need this grass. So if you provide that and you stop them from moving around to enter into farms, this conflict will stop. And then gradually confidence, because as it is now, confidence has been lost. Both parties don't see eye to eye. And that's why it's critical. We must make them communicate. We must make them understand.
And what is the decision on the ranching thing?
Yeah. I think the Mr.
Is
President
it
has
going ahead now?
No, it's going ahead. Mr.
Because
President mentioned.
they started it. I mean, the former governor started it.
No, but now that we have the Minister of Livestock.
Right.
And the Mr. President called him there and gave him a directive. He wants it established.
Okay.
So we're also going to partner with him directly to ensure that it's done.
Right. Well, that's a good start. But
So your military is speaking for terrorists, and the solution is to use the lost land of Benue, Plateau State, to placate these blood-sucking murderers. But that should be an answer to whatever other question you have. But how do you placate terrorists without justice? This man has an
series
answer.
of tactical operations, tactical
But can we
solutions.
have that solution if we don't
But
know
this is
what
the-
exactly
but-
is at the root of the problem?
But I said it in the beginning, misgovernance.
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 Right.
The greatest antidote to insecurity is good governance. In counterinsurgency, good governance. Ethnic issues, good governance. But when you have a country where almost every major ethnic group